Hello kiddos, how are you? So for today's science experiment, I'm going to try and do this fast before my hot water cools down. We're going to do a little experiment with some candy canes. So I went to my local dollar store and I bought some little candy canes. Okay, and what we need to do for this experiment is we need to predict what will happen if you put a candy cane in, let me put it in the right order, in cold water. So I put cold water from my refrigerator, warm water. Okay, you can kind of see the steam, right? It's hot. Can you see that? Ay, híjole. Okay, that's hot. And this is vinegar. Okay, so you need a cup with water, cold water, warm water. I just boiled some water and threw them in here. That's fine. It can be boiling or it can be hot. If you're going to use really hot water, make sure your parents are there to help you. They should be pouring in. And all of that, I don't want you to get burned. And this is vinegar, okay? So we're going to be making a prediction. Now, last week we also made predictions, right? We predicted whether things would sink or float. Now I want you to think what's going to happen when you drop each of the candy canes in here, okay? So you're gonna tell your parents what do you think is gonna happen, and they're going to write it. So I'm going to say that in the cool water, let's say it's going to float. Why not? And then maybe in this water, it's going to melt. To melt super fast. Okay, and in the vinegar, I don't know. It will melt too. I don't know, because it's vinegar, and float and sink. I'm gonna say it's gonna sink. Okay. Now this experiment might take a while. We want to put them in the water and then we want to leave them in there and see what happens. So I'm gonna take my 3 candy canes. Don't eat them. That's what you have the other ones for. Okay. So these just go in here. Okay. Just drop them in. Let's see. Oh, it sinks. So I got that one wrong. Oh well. Okay, so this one's just chilling in there. Put it in here. This one, still warm water. Ooh, there's like, ooh, that's interesting. Okay. I won't say too much. That way you get to do your own experiment and see what happens. I don't know if you can see what's happening to mine, but pretty interesting. Okay, and now the vinegar. Okay, so it's hard to see from the camera, but something is definitely happening in here. It's really interesting. I can see that one of them is disintegrating, melting a little bit more than the other ones. Okay. So your job is going to be to film a really short video telling me what's happening to each of the things. What's happening in the cold water, what's happening in the warm water, what's happening in the vinegar, okay? And then it go along with your prediction. So if I were to make a video, I would say, you know, well, it didn't float because I said it would float. My prediction was that it would float. It didn't float, and this is happening. Now, I said in this one that it will melt super fast. It's not melting super duper fast, but it's definitely melting, at least in mine. And then in the vinegar, I said that it would sink, which it did, and that it will melt. Now it's not melting as fast as the other two. So that would be my prediction. Now check yours. It would depend what's happening on them, you know, depending on how cold your water is, how warm your water is, and all of that. So if you get the tiny candy canes, you don't need that much water or that much liquid. That's just a little tip. So yeah, hope you have fun with this one. It's just making a prediction, a really small video telling me what's happening. Alrighty, have fun.